All right. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to our final day of WealthStack. I can't believe it's already here. I'm Shannon Rossick, the Director of Content Solutions for the Wealth Management Group here at Informa Connect. I hope everyone enjoyed yesterday's sessions, discussions, and networking opportunities. And today, we are not winding down by any means. In fact, we are going to be ramping up because no one wants a lame finale of an event. So today, we'll delve even deeper. We have a lineup of speakers who are not just at the forefront of technological advancement, but are also pioneering new approaches to growth and client engagement. These sessions are designed to equip you with actionable takeaways, ensuring that you leave this conference with a clear roadmap for leveraging technology to fuel your growth. So what do we have coming up today? We have 5 experts who will present 5-minute presentation, TED Talk style, whole new format for us, about some of the biggest trends in wealth tech. We have dedicated WealthStack roundtables, so be sure to hit those up later. And advisor-driven panel all about successful marketing initiatives, and we'll be getting into the minds of CTOs of some of the largest RIAs in the country to understand how they're leading change management at their firms. And we'll wrap the day with industry-leading CMOs who will share their insights around organic growth tactics. This event has certainly been flying by, and so I hope you make the most of your final day. But while we loved our content, of course, it's not just all about the sessions. One of the most valuable aspects of WealthStack is the community. I mean, look at you all here. Look at the community that we've built, and look around you. You're surrounded by industry leaders, innovators, and visionaries. And you never know, the connections you make today could spark collaborations that redefine the wealth management industry. So take advantage of the networking breaks, engage in discussions, and exchange ideas with your peers. And remember, innovation thrives on collaboration. And as promised, and one of the reasons why you're probably here this morning, is we have an award to give out today. A highlight from yesterday was our WealthStack demos, and we had an incredible 11 companies get up here on stage and showcase their cutting-edge technology. And I am thrilled to announce that after much deliberation from our judges that we have a winner. And we almost had a tie, and so they debated, and finally came up with an answer. It came down to Nebo Wealth and Jump. And the Best in Show award for the 2024 WealthStack demos goes to Jump. So congratulations to Parker Entz and his team at Jump. And like I said, the judges had a very hard time deciding and thought everyone did just an absolutely incredible job. And we were all impressed that everyone pulled off their demo in 5 minutes. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Welcome to what promises to be the spiciest session of WealthStack. So if you thought you were navigating the complexities of the wealth management industry was intense, wait until you see our next 2 speakers face off in a fiery battle of wits, wisdom, and of course, wings. So today we're bringing you a session that's hotter than your favorite stock pick and spicier than a market correction on a Friday afternoon. And that's right, it's time for Hot Takes with Michael Kitces and Jason Pereira. Will we see grown men cry in this cross-border clash of the titans? Get your water ready, maybe a fire extinguisher, most definitely your Tums, and let's give a warm, or should I say, fiery welcome to Michael Kitces and Jason Pereira. Good luck.
Good morning.
Thank you, Shannon.
Okay, so I think you've all seen the show. We're going to go one sauce at a time. But before we get started, there's a small twist. I mean, frankly, if you're going to compete with Michael Kitces, then you got to show up appropriately. And most importantly, you have to dress the part.
Oh. Wow, that is like on target, too.
So I literally contacted Corinne and asked her for the official Kitces Pantone Blue.
Fantastic.
And swore her to secrecy. So Corinne, if you watched the video, thank you.
Thank you, Corinne. Wow.
Yeah. So
that is amazing.
It's pretty damn bang on, isn't it?
It really is.
Okay,
It really is.
We are going to be talking technology and other aspects of the industry while we eat progressively hotter sauce. And the first thing we're going to do is find out if this is in reverse order or not. I'm a little concerned. All right, so you'll see that we have a Scoville scale for you to follow along and find out how hot this is. So first, let's go to the first sauce. the classic chili maple sauce, 1600. This is definitely the warm-up round. All right.
Oh, be kind, sir.
Let's
So I
see
have
this
to give
goes.
context. Like Jason had just reached out, whenever it was, like 2 months ago, and said, hey, have you ever seen the show Hot Ones? I'm like, I think so. I've got young children, so basically everything television in my house is Disney. I'm like, I think I've like seen it. I've heard of it. He's like, well, how do you feel about like doing that at the Edge conference? Like, we'll have spicy wings and talk about like spicy takes on the advisor tech industry. It's like, oh, it's cool, it's okay. Like, I have fun doing stuff with Jason. I basically have no context for what's actually coming. I don't know what these are. So just so you know, like, there's been nothing prepped. I'm basically going in blind. So whatever you see here is very authentic, because I really have no idea what he's going to hit me with.
And your
on
staff
this
specifically
scale.
asked, will Michael get hurt? And to which my only reply, that when people keep saying that, is that depends on him. He can stop at any time.
Yeah, it got really real, because I've been doing events for about 15 years or so. This is the first time I had to sign a waiver before I came on the stage.
They also gave us the signal for if we're having, I'm not going to put it up, we have a
Yeah.
hand signal for if we're having some sort of medical emergency, because there is an EMT. All right, round one.
Round one, okay.
Yep. Okay, so we didn't get reverse order, which is nice.
Well, that's very flavorful.
very
That's just
nice.
like a very nice,
Spicy maple, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so
Nice
now
sweet one.
on to industry topics. What does the adoption of AI mean for the industry? And I'll let you attempt that with a half full mouth.
AI, we're still on the first wing. I'm not supposed to get that spicy yet, right?
Oh, we're jumping right in.
Oh, all right. AI. So look, my fundamental challenge with AI and the environment that we're in right now, it's literally not intelligent. Like it's not. Like, it talks like a person, so we think it's really cool. We play games with it and we interact with it, but it's not intelligent. It doesn't think. It doesn't have logic. It literally can't follow a simple instruction that has some kind of logic intuition associated with it. It understands word patterns, and it knows how to put word patterns together in a way that both sound human and can interpret interesting word patterns. So now we're seeing like GPT-4o can do cool stuff with real-time translation. So we'll finally all have like Star Trek translators on our shirts if we're talking to someone in a foreign language. It does some really cool things in areas like document synthesis and generating raw content. But like this whole idea that at some point we're literally gonna have a personal assistant, like I don't need a human being next to me, because the AI I'll just like talk to it and ask it to do things, and it will do things the way that my assistant does it. We are so far away from that actual level of reality. And I feel like there's this phenomenon right now that a lot of the industry, and I think a lot of the public in general, like we've fallen in love with the idea of what AI will be, given sort of this implied promise. And it's just not really that far along yet. Like, and I mean, it reminds me, my grandmother, saw, when she was born, we didn't have a light. And by the time she was my age, we put people on the moon. And so she was expecting to also be doing moon trips by the time she passed away. Like that was her trajectory of where we were. And God bless, she lived to be almost 90 years old, and she didn't get moon trips. We've got a smartphone. Like, cool, progress. Very far short from consumers hanging out in the moons. I mean, she really thought her future would look like the Jetsons. And we take these sort of trajectories of technology and then like project them indefinitely into the future, and then don't really consider there are some limits of physics, of logic, of capabilities that limit it in that regard. It's not to say I'm not negative on some of the really cool stuff that AI is able to do. I'm fascinated with it around solving what I call the blank page problem, which is like, hey, I need to write about a thing. I need to craft an email for a client, and like most of us get writer's block. It's a lot easier to edit than oh God, this one has like yellow spicy looking things.
Yeah.
For most of us, it's a lot easier to edit than it is to create. No one gets editor's block, you only get writer's block. So when generative AI can like make things appear on a page and expedite the process, awesome. I'm completely fascinated with where AI helps cross over things that are said in meetings to what needs to be recorded in documents, and what's recorded in documents that shows up in meetings. So like capturing meeting notes into CRM tasks, and then like pulling up CRM information to prep an agenda to make a better client meeting. There's like super cool stuff there.
We'll come back in a second. Let's go to number 2.
All right.
We got to move this along.
What's next?
Hot sauce number 2.
What is hot sauce number 2?
Someone progress the slide.
I didn't give you a magic
Go
clicker.
back. It is La Pimentera Green Curry Verde at 6,000 Scoville. All right, let's give it a go. We can get
How high did these numbers go?
You will find out, my friend.
Okay,
You will
wonderful.
find out.
Oh boy.
It's like a green curry. It's quite nice.
Oh, there it is. It's curry. All right.
I'm disposing the
How
side.
about this?
Okay?
Oh,
So
all right,
here's the plate. All right.
Oh,
So you were
okay,
saying, like the replacing of
that's
the
got a little.
assistant.
That's got a little fire on the back
It had
end.
a little kick. that did sneak up on me.
That lingers. Okay.
All right. So, Michael, we're on number 2, dude.
I know.
All right.
It's a little concerning, but
So,
we'll
all right.
see how this goes.
So back to it. The entire replacing of the human assistant. Let's go back to that concept.
Yeah. So again, I think there's intermittent tasks we will find that the AI is really good at solving, but this idea that there's no more people, there's no more assistants in the office because the AI does everything. Like these are actually radically more complex problems when you actually try to sit down and code them, right? Just, Jason and I were talking about this previously. I mean, little things like going back to my office and saying like, we got a new client, we need to open up their accounts and transfer them. If you really want to get down to like the coding level, that's like a 47-step workflow process with a whole bunch of logic built in. Like if the client's, if it's this kind of account, we need an ACAT. If it's this kind of account, it's a non-ACAT. And like, let's check the registrations and all the different things that go in there. And like, you could program that in your own customizable workflow, like a super complex workflow engine that would figure all these things out. Or you could just like save some time in your life and tell your assistant, can you please open the accounts for the new client? And I'm even worried on some of like the time it would take for us to teach the AI is actually a lot slower than it is to just have a person do the thing, or at least the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I mean, we're at stage 1 of this, right? Like this is like the advent of the internet and everybody racing to create like websites that and businesses are gonna do everything. And a vast majority of them fail. And we're gonna see a lot of failure in this space. And further what you said, it's really not that intelligence. It seems, and it kind of to the untrained eye, looks incredibly impressive. And don't
Because
get
it
me wrong.
talks like us.
Yeah,
It's
it does.
sort of creepy because it talks like us.
It does, but at the same time, like when, it's like the meme, the Scooby-Doo meme, when Fred pulls back the ghost's mask and it's just like the innkeeper or whatever it was. It's like artificial intelligence, large probability engine with lots of regressions. Okay, I understand that math, and I understand how fallible it can be, right? And we see, mistakes happen all the time. My presentation yesterday, it's like for some reason AI can't get the number of fingers right on a hand every time it generates an image, and we've had to invent terms like AI hallucinations to talk about when all the data points to the exact wrong answer that doesn't exist, right? Like you would literally have to tell it not to lie to you sometimes.
Well, and again, right, in our advisor world, like 99% accurate, 1% hallucinations, like not viable. I'm not comfortable with a piece of tech that's basically guaranteed to blow up one client relationship a year because it sends me off the deep end with the hallucination. That means like I accidentally lied to my clients and broke trust because I told them something was just patently wrong and false.
How many were you wrong with before it's too bad? Like, where is the threshold?
Where is the threshold? I mean, I think it's really low. Like, it's really it's really, really low. I mean, when you get down to like my fiduciary backside's on the line, like my expectations and standards of that are a lot higher than where the tech is. And so again, that doesn't mean I can't put it into a box of some finite tasks that it may be good at, or that the stakes are a little bit lower on. Like, look, just capture some meeting notes, because frankly, I can bring a team member in to write down the meeting notes, and AI is probably a better stenographer than most of us in capturing that information. So I do see a lot of those one-off uses that are helpful, but when you get down to asking it to do like the thinking things where you break trust with clients, when you do it wrong, that bar is actually quite high of what it takes, and the tech is really actually pretty far from that. And what I see a lot of the tools now start to say is like, well, we try to get you most of the way there, and then you can review it. And I'm like, well, okay, but if you're gonna like make my plan and then I have to review all the things in the plan and all the original information and make sure that you got it all right, like I could have freaking done it myself in the time it takes me to back check your work. So you're not saving me time, you're just turning creation time into check that your AI wasn't wrong time, which isn't really moving us forward.
Speaking of moving forward, next slide.
Oh boy, they're gonna get hotter now.
Next slide, here we go. Hot sauce number 3. What's the keyword? Was there a signal?
All right, someone will move us.
Okay, there we go. Lemon pepper, we're up to 15,500 now. Okay.
Last one was
6,000?
6,000?
Yeah, here we go.
Okay. I like that. We can just sort of dab off the extra stuff here.
All right. Nothing called lemon. I was going to say, that's nothing called lemon pepper can be that spicy, but it's got a little bit of a kick.
Oh, it's very lemony. You have an interesting mix. We had like one that was sweet, one that was like a curry. This has a lemon tang to it.
Yeah, maple curry and now lemon. So,
maple curry.
Maple
bring it down from Canada. Could you tap the tree yourself?
I did not actually buy this, and I've never tapped a tree, and I could have brought it down from Canada. And it's interesting because, like, fiduciary responsibility aside, right? There's a interesting phenomenon with humans in that we demand perfection from technology, but not from ourselves, right? I think a mistake made by a human being is far more understandable than a mistake made by technology, which is one of the big obstacles towards people adopting self-driving cars in the future. And it's this illusion of control that we can prevent it. Now, in our industry, because of the responsibilities we do have and the implications for third parties, yeah, it's a little bit different. Like, we have that obligation to make sure that we're not doing it. And I think one of the bigger concerns as well, in terms of like, well, we get you part of the way there and you can check it, also comes down to the problem of consumption of marginal utility, right? Like, okay, that's nice, but every time there's like a safety improvement in a vehicle, people drive a little bit more recklessly because they don't have to be present in mind, right? So, it looks like it's coming out right 99% of the time.
So then I like stop looking at the details of the AI generated plan, and now I really go off the deep end.
You got it, right? So now the probability of something happening, because I'm not checking, is there, and it's more intense. So absolutely. So overall, I think, like, I'll sum it up by saying it's a really good golf caddy right now in a lot of capacities if you can find it, but it ain't swinging your clubs, and it shouldn't.
Yeah, I love tech. I love all things tech. I love hanging out and playing with ChatGPT. We've been experimenting with a lot of ways within our businesses as well. But to me, like, it's just like moderating expectations of realistically where we are and how far we are with the tech. And just I do think it's a good analogy, right? Like, if you look back 25 years ago, the internet showed up, and the prediction was within 3 years, all bricks and mortar stores were going to be gone, and we would just order everything online that would appear at our house. And so now you fast forward 25 years later, and actually, like, we order a lot of things, and Amazon just makes it appear at my house, and it's pretty cool. But it took 25 years, not 3 years, and the bricks and mortar stores aren't gone. They're diminished. Our habits have shifted a little bit, but it still didn't go nearly as far as we thought in 25 years as we were talking about in 3. And I feel like AI is showing up in a very similar manner. There will be some cool one-off applications. I don't feel like I've seen the killer app scenario yet, but I do see a lot of areas where it's starting to crop up. It's useful. Again, my big one by far is how it helps with meeting prep and meeting follow-up, and we'll find other useful applications. But just don't over extrapolate. Like AI is not coming for our jobs anytime soon.
Yeah, again, it will assist us, and it's funny, the entire, like, all these predictions, I refer to them as like engineering problem. Engineers run wild thinking that everything's a math problem and failing to consider the human dynamics, right?
Yep.
Yet you ask any Silicon Valley engineer about what they're gonna do, they're gonna code everything else out of existence. And, oh, look, they're gonna, robo-advisors are gonna
Well, yeah,
destroy-
robos were supposed to code us out of existence, and instead it's like cool onboarding technology that we use to help our clients, doing the same thing we've been doing all along, while Betterment rolled out human advisors and raised their prices 3 times until eventually they matched us.
Yeah. Like, it's, anytime I hear that, it's like, okay, you clearly don't understand exactly what it is you're trying to fix. You think everything's just an optimization problem. You're failing to account for the human. It doesn't work. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. We'll move on to our next question.
Ooh.
So, 36,500.
Okay.
So we're only really at Cayenne Pepper level, okay? So this
It's
is,
like we're at like 4. This is 4 out of 10.
this is 4.
Okay.
It might be an exponential scale. It might not be. Chili Laguna del Fuego. All right.
Chili Laguna del Fuego.
Let's see how this
Okay.
goes. So this is, like I said, about Cayenne Pepper level.
You're like caking it on too. Be kind.
This is a thick one. I didn't have a choice. Ooh.
It's got more of just an outright bite to it.
It really does have a kick.
All right.
All right. So, moving on from AI, as we discussed, again, spicy. What is the impact? What do we see the impact of PE on the industry is?
PE, are we specifically talking PE or like the full scale? Because there's PE, there's VC.
No,
like
we'll
there's
come
a
back to
range.
VC in the next one. We're going to start specifically with private equity because, I mean, they both come in for very different ways, or different reasons.
Private equity. Oh, I have to admit, I'm not upbeat on a lot of private equity in our industry.
Joe was saying the same thing, but continue.
You know, look, like at its core, I mean, private equity is really good at making money with money. That's what they do. They get a bunch of money, they throw money at companies, and we try to make money with money. Now, sometimes that shows up in positive ways. Hey, you've got a business that's doing some cool stuff, but you could probably do a lot more if you had access to some more capital. So we're going to give you more capital, build more cool things, and then you can help more people and do more good for society, and capital enables that and makes it happen. And there's a very positive aspect to capital coming into businesses. It's not the only version that shows up, though, in private equity investments. There's also, hey, you've been running a company that's not really run terribly well. Maybe if we come in, we can make some changes and turn it around, just make it a more successful enterprise. Well, sometimes that works. Like sometimes you actually just get better service and better quality from a company because they just didn't really manage themselves well, and now like someone knows how to hire customer success that actually does a good job of supporting their customers, and like the engineers get better and the offering gets better. Sometimes they just fix a leadership problem. But sometimes they come in, their turnaround is like, oh, you know, you've got like a really high quality product out there and you're really underutilizing it in the marketplace. You have almost no competitors. Like we could raise the prices 30% and no one would leave. And then we get
sometimes that happens.
And then we get a notification of a price increase. Like anybody got a price increase on their software from a PE-funded tech offering in the past few years? Like they're
Maybe in the last 12 months.
maybe in the last 12 months. Like it's
Without naming names.
starting to show up. The worst version of it is, oh, you know, you've got a really profitable core. Why don't we just like cut out all the customer support down to the bone, cut everything to the minimum, just jack up the profitability by killing sort of your long-term relationship with your customers because, hey, our holding period is 3 to 5 years, and by the time anyone knows how downhill the company is going, we'll have sold it for a really nice multiple, and it'll be someone else's problem.
Yeah.
So there's good versions of how PE shows up, right? In the aspirational end, you've got a cool thing and a cool core, and we're going to put capital into it to make it better and reach more people and do more cool things. From the external end, it is really hard to tell which one is which. Having even sat in some of these conversations with folks that have pitched us for some of our businesses, it's even hard when you're the founder to actually figure out which is which and how they're going to show up. Right, there's sort of a fundamental tenet that money comes with strings attached, and large checks come with a lot of strings attached. And figuring out even how to disentangle those strings is very challenging, and it becomes especially problematic in an industry like ours because the PE firms have done this 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 times, and for most founders, it's your first time ever having that conversation, so you don't even really always know what you're doing and asking for or asking about or need to watch out for. And so I'll just say, I have a lot of concerns for PE coming into our space. And secondarily, my real challenge to it is our industry is just only so large. Like there's only, we're not a thing where if you put money in, you can make the next multi-billion-dollar unicorn company because like 50 million people adopt it. Advisors are only so big. There's only about 300,000 of us, give or take a little, and it's hard to even make software that could possibly get all 300,000 because we're across all these different channels with different regulatory constraints that are attached. And so not that you can't make like a very financially successful technology enterprise that serves advisors well and makes more than enough money for you and all of your leading team members to not have to work for the rest of your lives. But PE firms often come in looking for like bigger numbers and bigger opportunities. And it puts a lot of, I think, challenging pressures on companies that if you try to grow something larger than its natural size, you can potentially start making some kind of Frankenstein-style problems out of businesses. And so I worry a lot that PE is often trying to squeeze more out of some industry companies than they really can. And if you can't just put money in and build cool new stuff, then you get we'll jack up the prices or cut the customer support and trim back the devs and a bunch of other stuff that we end up not being so happy with in a couple of years.
All right, so let's move to the next wing, and I'll weigh in myself.
Yeah.
Next sauce. So, Los Calientes, Rojo sauce. 49,000 Scoville now.
I feel like the growth is slowing. That's good.
It might be lulling you into a false sense of security.
Or
so
that.
Don't take it for granted.
Okay.
I may have put this slide deck together. This feels like it's not as hot as the last one, actually, but.
Yeah, it doesn't have as much of a bite.
No. So,
count my lucky
I think
blessings.
with me, like I agree with you. Like at the end of the day, capital's coming in to make more money. And they're going to do that through a combination of factors. One, leveraging up the firm, right? Classic LBO. Then two, basically they've got typically some sort of efficiency play at the beginning, trying to cut costs or make the company run better, whatever it might be. And then three, it ends up with hey, you're in a really secure position here. We have a lot of pricing power. Maybe we should exercise that. In my own country, I've seen that with one player who's got a pseudo monopoly in one space, and they got bought out by a PE firm, and they're going around on negotiations this year, and suddenly it's like 15 to 17% increases. And oh, by the way, we kind of realized we went over all our previous billings and realized this module wasn't being charged for, so here it is in arrears. So that's $500,000 up front. So first off, you start off with the entire, okay, let's make the company work better is the first play. But then the second thing becomes, well, if that's, once they've done that, let's not forget that that's the first PE firm. Where's the exit? Right? So they make this thing work, they fix it, they make the numbers look good, and then they sell it often to another PE firm.
Who does the same
thing, but at a certain point, you're getting to blood from a stone, right? And that's when you see the degradation of the service, the offering, the lack of evolution of the product, the pricing increase, and eventually, and we've seen it. Some of these companies that are, I'm not going to name names, bled dry, quite frankly, and products just never evolve, and they eventually get pushed out of the market. So it's a good exit for those who basically get the first checks. But long run, as a consumer, you got as an advisor, that is, you do have to be concerned about the future, in my mind. So, all right, so the next question.
I've just realized, my mouth is still hot. I haven't had a wing in a few minutes, but the burning sensation is still there.
Tastes like burning. All right.
Tastes like fire.
Tastes like burning. We'll get to that in a sec. All right, so we still got a couple minutes before the next one. But, all right, let's go to the other end of the spectrum and go to the VC side of the business.
VC. So for those who aren't as familiar with the funding landscape, oversimplifying a little, private equity firms tend to buy larger established companies and try to make them bigger. So the classic number in the private equity world is we want to see you 3 to 5x the size in 3 to 5 years. That's kind of the scale that they're thinking about. Better is good, but that's usually a benchmark. Venture capital invests much, much earlier in the stage. They're going after newer companies, proverbial startups that might not even have a product yet, or they've got a product but almost no traction, or like they've got some devs that made a thing but there's literally no one to sell it or answer the phone if people call, so like there's no staff infrastructure around it. Or maybe they've got like one person that does sales and customer support and 1 or 2 developers and someone in charge, and there's like a 4 or 5 core person team that's put something out that a few advisors are using and seems cool, and they're like, great. How would you like to hire 7 more devs and 10 salespeople and 15 customer service and like make this thing much, 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 much bigger? The dynamic for VC on the one end is like, this is how great ideas ultimately become like really cool industry-changing companies. The reality for growth in general is, it sounds cool in theory to have a fast-growing company. In practice, when your growth rates get really high, the saying is growth eats cash. When you have so many customers coming in, you need to hire customer service people to be able to support them. But you need to hire them before the customers come in, otherwise you give crappy, terrible service because you don't have enough people to answer the phones and provide the support. But that means you have to actually hire the people before the users show up that pay you the money that you needed to hire the people. When you've got slow growth rates, you can kind of hire as you go. Everybody's like a little busy, and then you hire the next person, and they get a little less busy, and then you grow a little more, and they're busy, and you hire 1 more person. Like you do that balance that most of us do as business owners. When you got a hyper growth company, that doesn't work.
Right.
You have to hire lots of people further ahead.
Let's move to the next slide.
Next slide.
And we are on to 71,000, which now is approaching African bird's eye chili, and it's the spicy shark.
More water. Yes, that seems wise.
Yes.
That seems wise.
All right, here we go.
All right.
There's a real sweetness to this one. I feel
It's
like
actually tasty.
Ooh, there it is. Give it a sec. Give it a sec.
Oh, yes, that's a slow burn. That comes later. It tastes sweet when you bite it.
It continues to build after you do. And just to remind you where we are, we're down to the final 4 now. So that'll get a little bit more interesting from here.
There's some fire there.
Oh, that lingers. Okay, please continue. All right.
Oh, boy.
So you're scaling up.
So you're scaling up fast, and growth eats cash because you really have to hire the people before you have the revenue to pay them. And that's where venture capital money comes in to solve the problem. So the good news is, I think VC gives us the opportunity for seeing a lot more ideas get off the ground. Yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah, no. This is. I'm thinking like you keep talking. This is amusing.
Really real now.
So it does.
We're now definitely.
It's going to get more real there.
Whatever
very
you do, please be gentle now.
It's not up to me. It's up to the sauces, Michael, and your willingness to eat them. Anyway. Growth capital.
Growth eats cash. Yeah, now it's really hot. You talk and the air blowing through your mouth just creates fire.
Okay, so let me jump in. So growth eats capital. At the end of the day, when I advise VC companies that are funded, they're interested in VC funding, I always tell them the thing they got to keep in mind is that their job as a VC-funded company is one thing, and it's to hit their milestones to unlock the next round of VC funding, because it is a treadmill. And the milk is coming out.
There's like 4 more, and you still have like questions to ask.
There's like 2 more, whatever. And the first question any young companies they ask themselves is, do they want to be on that treadmill? Right? Because the reality is, you get on that treadmill, you are not getting off until you are profitable. And profitable is actually further off than you think it is, because if you get the growth going that they want, it's going to eat more cash, and they're going to need to do more rounds, and they're going to need to basically, so the expenses are growing at a rate probably greater than the revenue is, even though the revenue is growing impressively, and you're just trying to stay ahead of that revenue growth, otherwise it'll break. And the problem with that is it can lead to places you don't want to go, where the vision that you have for the business completely departs from where you went. And suddenly, you're going out for your Series B round, and you're not even in level working in the business anymore. And now you're looking for your exit more than you care about run the business.
And you can't get off the ride. Once you get on that ride, you can't get off that ride without potentially as a founder watching yourself get completely wiped out.
Yeah.
And it really does get that level. So there was a bunch of industry news when it was like 18 or 24 months ago when Vice.ai, to get back to the AI theme,
Well, there's a story
which
there.
is kind of like AI-enabled intelligent portfolio manager tool for advisors, had gotten its first few advisory firms on board. They had, I think it was like $200 or $300 million under management, charging a sort of 25 basis point robo-style fee. So we can all do the math of what that looks like. And they raised venture capital dollars at $1 billion valuation, $60 million of cash at $1 billion valuation.
And from the likes of Sequoia and Founders, which Founders is Peter Thiel, like
Yep,
it was really impressive pedigree for the AI, for the VCs coming in.
And so there were a lot of questions like, so how does that work? Right? Like how idiotic are these idiots that put $1 billion valuation on a company that doesn't even have $1 billion of assets? Never mind, it builds the assets at a quarter of a percent of revenue, right? They got bought by something somewhere up in the like 200 times revenue valuation levels. And so the reason that happens is a couple of things. The first is, when venture capital firms invest, they are expecting and seeking hypergrowth. They talk about numbers like 33322, which means your company is supposed to grow 300%, 300%, 300%, 200%, 200%. So if you do the math of compounding, you really will actually be like 100x larger in 5 years, in which case it turns out that valuation was
Speaking of
justified.
compounding, next slide.
Oh no. I was just de-firing.
It's getting there. 103. Wait a minute, Spicy Shark came up twice? Hold on. Did I screw these labels up? I think this is my fault. Okay, so we are now on to
It's not actually Spicy Shark. What is it?
the bomb.
The
Oh no, so that is Spicy. Is that Spicy Shark? No, it's coming. That's next. Hold on. We are on. This is what happens when you do it in 10 minutes. Adobo Loco.
Adobo
Loco.
Okay.
103,000. That like.
100. All right.
Yeah, no, yeah, I did the same bottle twice.
All right.
Okay, we are now
boy.
past the bird's eye chili.
What does that mean? Past the bird's eye chili.
In terms of the bird's eye chili, is about 100,000 Scoville.
Okay. I'm afraid to jinx it, but that doesn't seem as bad.
You just,
The last one was
we're
worse.
2 minutes from a shutout. You just do that.
The last one was worse.
I'm just waiting for the surprise to build.
I know. Yeah, well, the fact that like talking made fire was definitely noticeable there.
It's building slowly.
So VC firms have these extraordinarily large growth expectations, but they're not dumb about their money and how and what they're doing. And so the part that doesn't get written about on deals like Vice AI, and I have no inside information about exactly what the terms are, but
That's okay. There's an article in Business Insider.
I've seen similar versions and offers to other companies. So what the VC firms do is they put on what's known as a liquidation preference, just a pref for short, that says, hey, if this doesn't work out and we need to rearrange the funding, we get our dollars out first. So if we put in 60 million, we get our 60 million out first. And often they'll even put a multiplier on it, like a 1.5 pref or 2 times prefs. Like we put in 60 million, we get the first 90 million out. Now the good news is you raise $60 million on $1 billion valuation. So the founders are like, this is awesome. We still own 94% of the company because we only took $60 million on $1 billion valuation. We only sold 6% of the company. We got all this cash.
In that round.
So when you then move forward in that business and it grows not so much in the 33322, your business is like 100x in a couple of years, you grow incrementally and you go a couple of years down the road and it's like, okay, well, we got $1 billion or $2 under management. We've got millions of revenue. Maybe we've got a $50 million valuation now, which is still not bad in the grand scheme of things. The PE firm comes in and it's like, oh, well, you got a $50 million valuation. We have a $60 million pref. So we get 100% of your company. So you just spent the past 5 years building an enterprise that's worth $50 million, and as the founder, you literally walk away with zero? and the PE firm or the VC firm in that context gets your entire company for their original deposit. You thought they were buying 6% of the company, they actually bought 100% of the company. And it is no joke, very, very possible in those sky-high valuation scenarios that founders literally get written down to zero for a company that actually grew to what might have been millions or tens of millions of dollars of enterprise value because you didn't hit the extraordinarily ginormous numbers that the VC firm requires. And as Jason noted, what that can then do to companies and founders is you start making compromises left, right, and center because you're about to watch your livelihood go up in smoke.
Yeah. Well,
And-
ironically, the spicy shark is what we just ate, and we're talking about spicy sharks.
Speaking about fire and smoke. So that's the really nasty side of venture capital, and it's very much out there because you can see it every now and then in some companies that show up in our space with these just outlandishly large valuations, and it's often VC firms that know first-time founders don't know how to do this math and how it works when they get a less favorable valuation in the future, and they stake that number because they know in the next round they're going to get almost all of your company for their original deposit. And it's very borderline predatory. Sometimes actually feels pretty outright predatory.
All right.
Do I have to eat another one?
Next slide. We got 3 left.
Got 3 left. All right.
Now we are on to the bomb, which is 135,000 Scoville.
Okay.
And we are approaching habanero.
Okay. Oh, that's
That's
spicy.
interesting.
Oh.
Apparently this is the one that's been on since season 1. I can see why. Yeah, that feels like burning. It's building.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's fire. That's fire.
Yeah.
Just in case you. Oh, where's you may want this.
We'll see. No.
Woo. Wow. 2 more.
The eyes are starting to water now.
So here. Wow. Oh, I got stuff to talk for a moment. So here's where this comes back in the context of our industry. The good news around VC is that some companies get funded an opportunity to bring a product to life that you otherwise might not have seen. And, pardon me. Wow. Yeah, that got really real.
This really got intense. That's 135, are you kidding me?
You got to go light on
It's
the
like a
last
time
two,
release
my friend.
capsule, my God.
Wow.
Whew. I don't know what happened. I've had worse, but whew.
Yeah, that just got really fiery. Sweat's going now. Oh, be kind.
It's not up to me.
It sort of is.
I just pour.
Poor gentle. If it's a drop, it still counts, right?
Does it though?
So, oh man, it's hard to talk.
You know, the interesting thing, going back to Vise, is what I do find interesting is I'll say I believe there's a correlation between VCs that have no real experience in our industry or don't regularly invest in our industry. Mm-hmm. We're running out of milk. And crazy valuations that don't make sense to us. And I've seen examples in multiple countries where it's like, wow, you attracted money from them, and none of those VCs are strategic partners that have any job in our industry whatsoever. I wonder why that happened, because that's a telltale sign, right? If you couldn't attract those who are frequent players in our industry or are attached to some large financial enterprise that invests in the companies that they buy into or that they onboard and use those technologies, what did those companies and what did those VCs not see that the likes of Sequoia and founders are, right? And it becomes like, is this turning into an episode of Silicon Valley where they're just not getting something fundamentally right?
I think the challenge in our space, look, when companies do, I'll call it small rounds, they raise $1 million or $2
So I didn't think this was going to happen, but it's
to build a
happening.
thing. Oh yeah. Oh God, there's 2 left. This is gonna hurt.
Wait until you see the next Scoville rating.
A drop counts, right? A drop counts. When companies raise $1 million or $2 to build a core product, I get really excited in our industry. That's where innovation happens. Software is very different to build than how we build our advisory firms. Service businesses are more straightforward. You get some clients, they pay you some money. You use the money to hire a team member to serve a few more clients. That lets you get a few more clients. You hire another team member. And there's a very tight natural cycle that happens. You serve a few more clients, you make a little bit bigger team, you serve a few more clients, you make a little bit of a bigger team, and you just keep compounding that as far as it goes. Technology is really different. You have to build all the software to a viable point before any revenue shows up. And practically speaking, pardon me, practically speaking, you need someone to run product, a couple of developers, someone to answer the phones. It very quickly costs you, and it probably takes you 1.5 to 2 years to build and launch out, and it very quickly takes you $1 or $2 million to put any kind of software to market. And so when I see tech companies in our space that raise $1 million or $2 to bring a new thing to market, like, I get excited. Cool. Something new is coming, someone's got a neat idea, an investor thought it was cool enough they're willing to put some money towards it. I can't wait to see what comes. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. We'll see. Hopefully we'll get a few good things, and we do.
Speaking of we'll see. So,
Do we have to do another bite?
next slide. It just got real.
I like how the arrow barely moved. It just crept higher like a fraction of an inch, but you have to look at the number to realize it went from like 150 to 600. That's a very misleading.
They just came in a kit. I just
scale.
used the numbers that I was given. Okay.
Oh God.
Okay, here we go. Once more into the fold.
I don't know how coherent last answers are going to be here. It really does. Just like when you talk, it's like fire.
Oh. I love that. It's a little sweet. We'll see how this goes. Don't jinx
Not
it. Just
immediately
don't
awful.
jinx it. Don't jinx it. Okay.
I'm afraid to jinx it. That was actually less bad than the prior one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's funny because the last one was the one that they've had on since the beginning of the show, and they've never gotten rid of it. And it's the one that kind of sneaks up on everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no joke. This
is
that
a
one was
lot.
actually
This
worse
is
than
refreshing.
one. How about that? So, not to jinx it. So, when small rounds come in, it's cool. And if you look at almost every technology that we have that's been around the industry for the past 10 or 20 years, they're all what I call the homegrowns. Like, advisor had problem, couldn't find solution, got frustrated, made solution for self, friends heard about solution, sold solution to friends, now has software company on the side. Redtail, Orion, Juncture, iRebal, ProTracker, TRX, like, there's a list of dozens of technology companies that are out there today that serve us that came by that path. And the only reason we got them is, God bless, the advisory business is profitable enough that we could self-fund the $1 or $2 million it made to take the technology because there was no venture capital to do it in the past. So the good side of VC to me coming into the industry is I think it speeds the pace of new companies coming to market in ways that get really exciting to me. I think we're seeing a faster pace of new tech coming forth since VC showed up over the past 5 years or so. And I mean, certainly, like, I look at our tech map and the frequency of logos that we add, and the pace has gotten better. So the good side of it is it really is spurring more innovation. The bad side is, as Jason kind of highlighted, is the growth expectations get so high that the pressure starts to grow on the companies, that they start to get outlandish, they go different areas, they start pushing stuff we didn't care about. I'm like, you had a cool thing, but I didn't need like the next 9 features and the double the price thing. I just liked the original thing that you made, and I wanted to just keep paying for that. And you don't get to do that often in a VC world, or the companies get pushed outright to move to different spaces, different verticals, different channels. Like, you build a cool thing for us as an RIA, and now like all you're building is for banks because banks have more people than independent RIAs do, and so the companies get pulled over there sometimes. So there's a phenomenon in the funding world, particularly on the venture capital end, of like, you raise enough and not too much. Because if you raise too much, the pressure really amps up that you have to grow to a certain level and reach certain numbers, or you're going to get wiped out as the founder when the preferences kick in for the VC firms. And the problem, again, going back to the earlier comment, is there's almost no experience with venture capital in our industry. They've done it a zillion times because they do that for a living. Most of us in the advisor tech space are all on our first company. And so some very uneven deals get cut, and a lot of people kind of fall in love with the numbers that are getting thrown at them, and then make decisions that they regret, and then we end up regretting as the users of the software when it goes different directions.
Speaking of regretting decisions.
Speaking of regretting decisions, oh God, do we have to do the last
Next
one?
slide. Hold on to your seats, people. Half the heat.
It's literally called The Last Dab.
Yep. Just going to top us up.
You.
Thank you.
That's
you
are a kind man.
Excellent. All right, we got 4 minutes we don't have to jump in right this minute, but we'll jump in shortly. Yeah. And the other thing, I mean, it's difficult. I mean, first off, we all benefit from someone subsidizing a non-profitable company to give us a toy, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's great. We get new toys.
We get to play with new things all the time. But at a certain point, when that growth trajectory does not go where it needs to go anymore, either it's exited and sold to another company for not as much as they wanted to, and then maybe that survives, maybe it doesn't. God knows there's lots of big players who buy out small players and just let them die on the vine constantly. Mm-hmm. You see that over and over again. Mm-hmm. And if you're the person who came to rely on that thing, you're going to be very annoyed, right? So I think it's a net positive in our industry. Mm-hmm. At the same time, it does come with its own cautions. And speaking of caution.
Oh, speaking of caution.
Now, I didn't go crazy on the pour this time.
Thank you. I mean, he's like every time.
Well, I knew what was coming.
You knew what was coming.
There we go.
Oh, you just feel the fire when it touches your tongue.
How about the back of your throat?
Oh yeah, it just got there.
Yep. You know, I actually feel like the 1-2 before was, oh no, here it comes.
Oh yeah, that's just a slow build on that. Mm-hmm.
If by slow build you mean burning all the way down, yeah, it's a slow build. Yeah.
So look, like relative to our industry overall, you know, we are a relatively young profession, and from a technology end, we're a very immature industry. We don't have a startup culture. We don't have a startup environment. We don't have a lot of people that you can look to for guidance about how to do this and navigate this. Like if you're a founder that's trying to build something in technology for advisors. Sorry, I'll be sipping on this as we go.
It's a necessity.
And so the good news is that it's spurring more innovation. And the bad news is that there's a lot of bad deals that get done. And the bad deals get done ultimately end up hurting the founders, it hurts the company, ultimately it hurts us as advisors. The people who brought the money tend to still make money at it because they're really good at writing the rules in a way that they will do fine for themselves. I'm not going to shed a tear for them.
Shed a tear for VCs? Who will think of that? Poor VCs and save them.
But I really do think just the nature of the dollars coming in right now is a bit of a double-edged sword. I think it's accelerating the innovation. I think it's accelerating the new stuff coming forward. And it makes the environment less stable for us as advisors in a way that's good in that you get more innovation and more new stuff coming forward, but is bad in that it increases the risk that we use tech that goes out of business, we use tech that gets merged away, we use tech that gets acquired and changed and the prices are jacked up to the point that it doesn't really make sense anymore. And that's challenging for a lot of us. I mean, we track this in the advisor technology study that we do. The average advisor changes maybe 1 or 2 tech things in their firm every year. Most of us, if you add up all the different tech, There's about 15 to 20 different things that we use, which basically means we switch tech at about a 5 to 10% switch rate, and most of us hold any particular piece of tech for 10 to 15 years.
But the counterpoint to that too is you can't sit back on legacy technology entirely, because then you have the problem
Yeah, I
of
can. It
companies.
works.
Well,
That's
you
why
say
I still
that,
use
but
Microsoft.
Fair. No one ever gets fired for hiring Microsoft. They just, I don't know how the person who developed Teams is not behind bars is beyond me. But
That's true. I stayed in Slack.
thank you. Like, it's like they took all the good stuff about Slack and Zoom and took it away and merged it with Skype. No, but like perfect example. Like you'll see practices working off technology. It's like 20 years old and great, but then that company's been trying to evolve and can't. And next thing you know, that market share is diminished to a point where they're like, yeah, we have 3 products and we're closing this one now. So then the guns to your head, like, okay, great, now I got a forced migration in the next 7 months. Otherwise, I'm in serious trouble.
Well, yes. I mean, sticking to the point with tech to the point that it's literally getting like deprecated off the shelf is problematic. But look, to me, like the interesting irony at the other end is we are still at its core, going all the way back to the discussion around AI. Like, we are businesses of humans serving humans, and we serve humans that wanted a human. Because if they really just want to like do stuff on their phone, they do it on their phone and they're DIYs and they don't contact us in the first place. Like the people who work with us in advisory firms are humans seeking humans, and we provide a human service. And I really don't think that fundamentally changes. And that's not just to be like lackadaisical around technology. It's like, you know, I look back 20 years ago, like before the smartphone showed up, we're still basically doing the same thing. Before the internet showed up, we're still basically doing the same thing. You talk to people that have been doing this for 40 plus years when we didn't have computers in our offices, and they're still basically doing the same thing. They just used a rate book to figure out what your premiums were going to be. The technology has made the conversations better often with clients. We can do more sophisticated analyses. They provide more meaningful discussion points because we can show clients more readily real time the consequence of their decisions and how it can impact their financial future, and then have a meaningful conversation around it. But to me, it's not that the advisor industry is slow to adopt technology and therefore like we're a bunch of Neanderthals that don't know what we're doing and we're tech averse. I think we adopt technology slowly because frankly, we really don't need a lot of it to actually provide the core service that clients pay for, because they're paying for a human to interact with a human, and that's all the skills that like we learn between our ears, and not the technology. Even when you look at how technology has showed up in advisory firms, when you look at a lot of the industry metrics, the discussion for 20 years has been as the technology gets better, we'll all have like 200, 300, 400, 500 clients per advisor because the tech makes it so super efficient. And then if you actually look at the average number of clients per advisor in an established advisory firm, the number hasn't moved for 20 years. The back office is smaller. We're slowly winnowing down how much support staff we need because the technology is automating a lot of the non-advisor tasks away very slowly and steadily. But the fundamental business of humans serving humans doesn't change, and I think that's part of why we don't necessarily pull the technology forward as quickly. We don't need it to move that fast. Like, it's helpful. I love playing with the new toys and having a great new client conversation from it.
But if it works, it works.
But if it works, it works.
Yeah.
And I think there's a view from the tech side of the industry that like we don't get the future and how tech enabled it is. And I look at them from the advisor and like, you don't understand how human this business is.
And that's always the breakdown. And with that, I think we need to wrap it up. We're over time. Michael and I may be around later, maybe not around later.
That third from the end was actually
that was the most like,
yeah.
Although I'm feeling the last one all the way through right now. So,
yes.
yeah. So, thank you so much, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. And glad we didn't need the EMTs.
Yes.
Michael didn't get hurt, according to like the staff didn't want. Sure.
Thank you.
Hey. Michael Kitces, I know you heard. Chief financial planning nerd. Eating hot wings, better get you some agua. On the edge of your seat, call the doctor. Jason Pereira, tell me what you're eating. Temperature rising, it's hot and steaming. Michael Kitces, trust me, you got these. Eating hot wings, talking industry topics. Hoping you can hang. Gotta do your thing. I'll call a timeout if it's too hot, man. Wait, sweat dripping from your forehead. Tongue on fire, now you getting more red. Hold up, this whole body on fire, man. Get your phone out, somebody call the fireman.